don't think people understand what Giannis Antetokounmpo just did. And when he won his championship, I called him a LeBron James disciple. And the reason why I called him a LeBron James disciple is because he's the first player since LeBron James to win a championship playing the do everything type of play style. The do everything type of play style is when you have a extremely gifted, talented player where everything runs through him on the offensive side of the floor. When we talk about initiating the offense, when we talk about going coast to coast, when we talk about setting up others, getting to the paint, kicking it out to shooters, when we talk about slashing ability, when we talk about just scoring in general, and also being a dominant two-way player. And then you get to the finals and you lead your team in every single statistical category. That's what Giannis just did. And that's why I said he's a LeBron James disciple. And this play style is very hard to do, and nobody's won the championship other than LeBron James since Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that's why we have to give Giannis his flowers, and that's why I said he's a LeBron James disciple. Now, we look at Giannis's game, we look at LeBron James' game, and we know that it's different, but the play style is still the same because we know that LeBron James can operate on every level on the basketball court, and Giannis is still developing his game. But the crazy thing about Giannis is that he's so athletic, and he can play this play style, and he's shown that he can win by playing this play style at the highest level, that he may not even need to develop a consistent second or third level jump shot. So that's crazy to even think about, but it's special because this is the first time other than LeBron James that somebody's won a championship with this play style. And then we look at some of the other players in the NBA who has had, success playing this LeBron James play style, in the Russell Westbrook, James Harden's done it. You look at Luka Doncic, you look at Ben Simmons. These are all guys that I consider, and I'm going to make a list talking about, LeBron James disciples of guys that's in the league right now, and also guys that came before LeBron James, but just didn't reach the ultimate success of, LeBron has done of winning multiple championships playing this type of play style. And we have to give LeBron James his flowers because LeBron James is the greatest all-around basketball player in the history of the game. And just to even have the ability to play this play style throughout the course of most of his career is something special. And that's why we got to give Giannis his flowers, because Giannis won a championship playing this play style that's really rare, because you don't see guys have the ability to be able to do what a LeBron James can do on a nightly basis for years throughout the regular season and the playoffs, and even see what Giannis just did in this playoffs and then this NBA Finals. It's a rare breed. And when you start looking at these guys and people that has the ability to play this type of play style, it's scary because at one point it's kind of like, a lot of these guys can be the best player in the world, but also a lot of these guys may never win a championship or may struggle to win a championship because it's so rare. Like I said, other than LeBron James, we've never seen a player other than just recently Giannis Antetokounmpo to win a championship with this play style. And it's very rare. And it starts with having a freak of nature type of athleticism. And it's hard to do from rip, but it's even harder when you don't have that freak of nature type of athleticism like LeBron James, like Giannis. These guys are probably top 5 athletes throughout the combination of all sports of all time. Like, we just look at athletes, just being an athlete. LeBron James is probably arguably number 1, and Giannis is probably in that top 3 to top 5. We just look at all athletes throughout the entire sports landscape. That's how crazy you have to be to even play this play style. And then you look at guys that are playing this play style right now, looking like a Luka Doncic. You even seen James Harden, who almost won a championship doing it, but he just came up against a dynasty. It was hard for him and people say like, James Harden, why does he, in the regular season he's doing this, and then the playoffs come, he tends to struggle because it's taxing, it's tiring on your body. And if you're not a superior athlete, it weighs on you the longer you have to play this play style of leading an offense, scoring, assists, rebounding, drawing fouls, and then don't be a two-way player as well, like a LeBron James or like a Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's very taxing on your body, and it's just crazy. That's why we got to give LeBron his flowers for kind of inventing this play style, and that's why when GMs see players like a Giannis, like a LeBron, like a Ben Simmons, like a Luka Doncic, like a James Harden, and even like a Cade Cunningham that's coming out, that just got drafted by the Detroit Pistons. That's people who are looking at him as like, he doesn't have the athleticism like a LeBron James, but he can play this type of play style where he can lead the team in scoring, rebounding, assists, and have a huge impact on winning regular season games and even possibly in the postseason. So I understand why GMs always tend to go for these guys because it's such a rare breed. And if things work really well, you have a chance to really compete at the highest level. But winning the championship is very, very hard and very, very difficult. That's why, over the course of LeBron James' career, we had to give him his flowers because what he's been able to do with having this type of baggage have to carry on, on the regular season in the playoffs, and people are going to talk about the teams that he's played on and the great teammates he's had. Nobody's taken away from none of the excellent teammates LeBron James has had, but it's the reason why when he's not playing on the basketball court, that all the teams that he's been on, they have a losing record. So even when you look at the situation with Giannis, it's just so special that what he just did, and that's why I said that people got a little mad and people got a little upset that Giannis is a LeBron disciple because he doesn't play the game when we talk about shooting the ball and talking about maybe facilitating and run the offense, to a T like LeBron, but his play style of being a do-everything type of player or a dual forward like Rashad Phillips likes to say. I always been saying a do-everything type of player before Rashad came out with that dual forward type of, category, but it's basically the same thing. Though it's guys that can do everything statistically and lead your team statistically on offense in every category and play defense. It's other guys that can do the offense as well, but if you playing defense as well, that makes you even more special. So that's why I said Giannis is a LeBron disciple, and we got to give LeBron his flowers, but most importantly, people got to realize how special this NBA title that Giannis just won was, because other than LeBron James, we've never seen in the history of the game another player do what Giannis just did.